Okay, I'm going to access the reusable learning object that was developed by DKIT, IT Carlo, and IT at Alone some time ago. So this is just an example of how we might reuse some of the available material. On the screen in front of us, you see there are four major topics in accounting, and I'm just going to use the bank rec as a template, if you like, just to give an idea of how this whole thing sits together. So I'm going to the bank rec, and I'm invited then to just to enter the program, and it pops up in a new window here. So here we go, and ready to rumble. You'll see here that there are a number of options here. You'll note that there's audio available there. Importantly, there are there's the theory behind this as well as the animation. So okay, so there's the option to go to the key concept, the procedure itself. Then there's a worked example, and then you can actually have a go at a question here. You can see here who it has been developed by. I'm just going to duck in and out of each of them just to see how this whole thing sits together. So we'll look at the key concept, and it gives the theory behind it. And you'll notice that the audio is running there now. Okay, I'll just skip on over that. We'll look at the procedure. So you'll see that it's done in 4 stages, the procedure there. And here are the 4 stages. Step 1, step 2, step 3, and step 4. And a little bit of the theory behind each of these as you go. Um, we can go back on over onto the main menu, and we look at the worked example. And it's actually very good. This one here is that there is some audio with it, but also it sets up the scene. There's some audio with it, and also a video file which takes you into the actual um, the actual nuts and bolts and the mechanics of what is being done. So I'll just go into here, and you'll see here that this will bring me into the video, will bring me into another screen here with the audio. So you'll see that that's step 1, and through the 4 steps, it goes through the 4 steps, and according as it goes, it introduces the next stage of the process with the associated accounts. Okay, so you can see that it advances there as you go on. I realize I'm speaking over the audio of the video itself, but obviously that's available. So I'll come out of that and go on to step 3 rather. There we go, step 3, and it explains what is happening and the mechanics of how that is done. Okay, and then finally step 4 is to play the video, and here is the actual reconciliation. I think it's an excellent way of describing to students. It's just a little bit there. It's an excellent way of explaining to students how this whole thing operates. So they are the four stages. The worked example. You can try a question then. And here's the question up here. Here are the questions up here, and you can go to the next question. So you can try and submit that and so on, and you can try as many times. Question 1 of 5. So um, question 2, you'll see that there's a question bank there. And again, the student can submit that and then get some feedback on where they were, whether they were right or wrong, and so on. There's a quiz in there, a bank of questions in there. So here we go. Here's back to your questions, and very importantly here, the help screen. So with each of the operations, the audio speaks over it and tells the student how they might go about using this program. I'll just close it there now. So back to the main screen of it, and I'll just bring it down here. Um, Reusable learning object. There are a number of attachments in there that I hadn't mentioned earlier, and here's your try question. So there's printable handouts in PDF here. So here we go here, and here you go with the summary of the steps, etc. Um, I'll just come back out of that one, and to be aware then that is what is available to the student. Now, back to our Moodle, and so you'll see here that the same can be done for this topic for the trial balance and for the ratio analysis. And these are some of the main areas that students have difficulty with. The very fact that they can go back and do this at their own time and location, they can do it from home via Moodle and so on, is it makes the whole process very accessible and very student centered. That's what I like about it, and it is one of the reasons that I would be very keen to spread this out across a number of programs in terms of my delivery of a number of programs, because these are core to these topics are core to a number of the accounting programs. Obviously, with the benefit of this iterative process where we can see, well, how could we change this a little bit, or how could we improve it? The idea would be to add new topics here until such time as we have a full suite of whatever the topic within accounting is available to students. One caveat I would put on that is that there were huge resources put into this from Athlone Carlow and indeed Dundalk Institute of Technology. But I think there are other ways of um, bringing this to fruition in terms of the extra topics that could be added. It doesn't necessarily have to be through this medium, but it gives a great template of how this whole thing can work. Indeed, even just to use a screencast like I'm using at the moment could be a viable way of maybe adding new topics to the repertoire, if you like, for bringing these to students. So again, all I'd say on this is that it's a reusable learning object. It is very much student centered, and it is available, and that's very important. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. So, and this is actually available on the National Digital Learning Repository, and a little bit of searching, I'm sure I can come up with some more, some similar things that have been developed elsewhere. And as I said, no point in reinventing the wheel. So I'll park this for the moment, and we will look at some other interventions that might be used.